I'm Kat Iniba, and welcome back to Holo Holo, the show that spotlights our very own talent. And joining us now is director and writer Mr. Stephen J. Kung, whose directorial debut is for his film A Leading Man.
No job is worth your dignity and respect.
他应该找一个比较稳定的工作。
Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you very much, Kat. Happy to be here.
I'm excited because you tackle several topics in your directorial debut film, A Leading Man, from stereotypes and just Asian men trying to make it in Hollywood.
Right.
Tell me what inspired you to write this film.
Well, I wanted to tell a story that I could write a story that I could direct myself. And you know, they say to write what you know. And when you work in Hollywood at like film studios and you go to film school here, you meet a lot of actors and then you hear their stories. And then all I could think of is like, wow, what a tough life they must lead. I mean, actors in general live a very hard life, right, trying to get work. But if you're an Asian American male actor, then you've got your work cut out for you. You know, the opportunities are so few. And you know, I wanted to direct a drama, and drama is based on conflict and impossible situations. I'm like, well, being an Asian actor in Hollywood is an impossible situation.
Right now, but hopefully not for long, right?
Not for long. Things are changing. Ever since, we completed production in 2012, and like it was a really terrible time. Then there was like this summer of hate and all these like racial Trayvon Martin and like Linsanity. There was a Linsanity backlash, but like now I feel like things are steadily improving, but we have to make sure they continue improving and that we don't head down into a trough again, because a lot of times it's just like this.
Yeah, how long did it take for you to write it?
It took about 2 months for the first draft, and then we went through several more drafts with my producers. So probably, all in all, like 6 months to the shooting draft.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a while, but it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. And the story, it's actually about an Asian American actor played by Jack Yang,
yes.
And he is trying to make it in Hollywood, so he decides to date a Caucasian casting director?
Yes. Casting directors are the gatekeepers for actors, right? And they decide who the director sees.
Right.
So they're very powerful people, and they have a huge creative say in the industry. And it's kind of weird because currently they don't have, they're unionized, and currently they don't have an Academy Award for them, but there was a film that came out very recently talking about why casting directors deserve this award. And I think they do, because they have such a huge creative influence over the film.
Yeah, and it tackles, your film not only tackles trying to make it in Hollywood, but for Jack, like his ethnicity. And,
yes.
Yeah, and then what's expected of him because he's Asian.
Right. On that level, it's a very relatable story for all immigrant families, you know, because we come to this country and then like our parents expect us to do one thing, but then we want to do another. So there's, you know, like I've had people of all different ethnicities read the script and they're like, oh yeah, I get this. I know this character. I have this dilemma.
I know this person.
Yes, exactly.
Talk about the cast, because it's a pretty huge cast, not only Jack Yang, but Raymond Lee.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you get the huge cast?
Well, you know, when you make an independent film, you want to try and not make it feel independent. A lot of people want it to feel indie, but you know, I went to USC, which is a very studio system-based school, so I wanted to make it a little bigger than and a little out of the ordinary for your run-of-the-mill indie film. And so I was like, well, you don't see very many big casts.
Yes.
And so I also wanted, you know, the purpose of this movie is to also introduce the audiences to a whole new generation of Asian American actors. And so I wanted a lot of fresh faces. So I was like, I want lots of cast members and I want lots of new faces. So, you know, Jack Yang, Raymond Lee, also Kenzo Lean, Elaine Yui, who's half Filipino, Sam Mara.
You've got a great
just a few,
cast.
Thank you.
Stephen, tell me how you got started in film.
How I got started in film, well, I was actually an international relations undergraduate, and I was bound for law school. I worked at the DOJ, and and this was around 2000. There was like the .com thing was booming. I had a quarter-life crisis, and when you're a kid from Virginia, you don't really know what you want to do, and you never picture like yourself working in the film industry.
Right. So what made you say, okay, film is for me?
I had a film. Well, I've always loved film. And a friend of mine was a producer at MTV at the time, and he's like, you know, Steven, you can work in the film industry. I'm like, I can. I'm a kid from Virginia. And he's like, oh yeah, you just work for free. I was like, oh, is that all?
Oh, like an intern.
Yeah. So
But hey.
I interned for free at the Discovery Health Network, which is now owned by Oprah.
Oh, wow.
Now the Oprah Network. And then I went to film school at USC.
Yeah, and you actually assisted and did some stuff for Mad Men, is that true?
Yeah, yeah. I worked on several television series in treatment, anger management, and Mad Men. I was the assistant to Matt Weiner, the creator and executive producer on the show.
So what was that experience like?
That was the most amazing job because I was a huge fan of the show before I even came on. And so like working on it was a dream job for me.
Yes.
And the writer's room is right next to the set. So for breaks, you just like leave the writer's room and walk onto the set, and it's like time travel because it's a different time of day, and like people are dressed differently, they're smoking, they're talking to, you know, it's just a great experience.
Amazing. Now, what did you take out of that experience for this film, A Leading Man?
Well, I think you know, I absorbed a lot of Matt Weiner's writing sensibilities because I would stay late into the night with him and sort of be a sounding board for his ideas. And so I learned the way he told simple stories and things that examine the human condition and ways people react in extreme situations. So I feel like I brought all of those to A Leading Man. And plus, of course, in A Leading Man, there's a show within the show called Poo Poo Platter, which features a lot of like terrible Asian stereotypes. And so like the way that set was run, I mean, Mad Men is a really well-run set, but I sort of like took that and twisted it in a way for A Leading Man.
I look forward to seeing your film.
Thank you.
Now, it's actually not only has it aired at the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival, but you also have a screening in June. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, the screening in June will be at Dances with Films, and it's the first week of June. We don't have a date set yet, but you can look on our website, www.aleadingman.com, and we'll give you updates there.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Kat.
And thank you for telling this story.
Thanks. I'll see you at the premiere.
Yes. Again, for more information on A Leading Man, the website is aleadingman.com. Time for a quick break, but we have more Hollow News when we return.